Yeah, so I'm going to, coming on here, what am I going to say? Who knows? I don't practice. I did have one thing in mind, and that was number 10. The 10 world. The 10 world of 10, 10, and 10. It equals to 1,000. In Roman numerals, it's the letter M. So this is what I basically do. I start off with absolutely really nothing. So when I take number 10, and I write out the letters T, E, and N, the T is the 20th letter, which also stands for the year of 2000. The 5 is the E letter, which is the next letter in 10, which altogether actually says T, as alone the letter T and E, T. Before it would be ET, but after it, it's TE. So you can play around with that letter. I use the T for transmission. I also use the T with the A for angel transmission, or communication of angel transmission, CAT, cat. We all know backwards dog is God. So back to 10 again. What is 10? 10 is perfect. 10 equals number 39. In roulette, on the right side of the roulette, on the first 9 numbers, on the right side is 3 and 9 red. The other way you get 39 is when you come to the center of the roulette board, on the lower half 18 and on the higher half 21. They go together and connect, totaling to 39. You know what happens with number 39? When you get to the 7th inning stretch, there's 39 outs. 10 ends right there. We have to go to the second side of the telephone. The face of the phone has not been finished. But wait a second. I did say the face of the phone was 45, didn't I? So then there'd be 3 more innings for one team, and there'll be 2 for the other team. 6 outs and 9 outs. 6 and 9, the letter I and the letter F. If I what? So you have 15 more outs. Together, in the total game, you have 54 outs. 6 sides of Rubik's Cube times 9 equals 54. That's what I do. I compare things, and now I'll take these 2 things in my mind and put them aside. And then I'll take something else, and then I'll keep putting it on the side. I write it down, I do these videos, but I do not remember half. I remember all the situations and calculations how to do them. But if you ask me about anything, I'm going to take my pen out, and I know what it's going to be, and I know how I'm going to get the answer. The problem is, everything branches out like a tree that grows leaves and roots in the ground, and it spreads out so far, I just can't explain just one number. It doesn't work out. Everybody, somebody was asking me about, I don't know if you ever saw this. I did this about 3 years ago. Okay? I'm going to try and open my book and see if I can find the other page. This is the list from the Kabbalah. Okay? It's the same as this exact same thing. But what most people don't see, here's a moon and here's a moon. See the T in between? That's the transmission. When this lowers down to here, okay, I don't know exactly how it works. Don't forget, there's your body, there's the world or the solar system, this world that we live in, then let's jump onto the moon and the solar system. And still, regardless, I just don't want to believe that everything works the way it does. Because if the moon is actually a satellite moon, to me satellite, when they brought up satellites and put satellites into the sky, right away, moon, satellite, represents the 2. The wolf or the fox is every time I seem to create the Magen David star, I always see the fox in there when you turn it sideways. Now, if you do this star, you see I'm jumping off again. I can run to another star. I can keep on going. But this thing here, okay, is the same thing. Tell me it's not the same. Somebody tell me it's not the same. You see the army band up here? V, 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 and on the top they put it upside down, the V. You know why? Because it ends up like this after. 2 Y's on top of each other end up to look like a circle, like an egg with 2 tails. Where else was I? So, now we're going to jump on. We're still on number 10. Okay? Now the question is that the best world? You see, these are the questions I'm still asking myself. Which is the best world? Okay, now I can go to a lot of worlds. 9 by 9 is 81. But anytime you do anything, always add the 1 that goes with it. 9 equals 1. Why? To bring it to a 10 world, 9 needs 1. To bring 7 to a 10 world, it needs 3. To bring 8 to a 10 world, it needs 2. Those two numbers of 78, which are 7, the 7th letter G, and the 8th letter H, totaling to 15, they're the silent G and H when you bring them together. G and H, the 7th and the 8th letter, the 15th letter is the letter O for water. Water into G heaven of H. What is the water? What are the rings of life? And what is the fire water? Why did Jean Ray mention fish and swimming fish? Because in all actuality, he might have been looking a little bit deeper. That in every element of water, if you're able to poke your finger through the bubble of the water, it's only going to split apart and remain the same water. When that bubble has fallen down, all the bubbles, the raindrop has fallen down, all the bubbles are lost. Everything becomes an individual. And now it seeps into the ground. But haven't you noticed sometimes it rains and a bubble stays on top of the water until it bursts and go into the ground to feed the grounds? The fish can be swimming in our head. Don't forget, sperm is a fish. Swam into her, swam to the egg. You ended up with an egg head. Not only that, in your head, right here in the center, your hair grows to here. But these two ends I miss. If you take and follow it around, it becomes a C, and a U, and an E. On my head, that's the Q, isn't it? C-U and E. Why did I use C-U and E now? I use the sperm to come in. This is my cap. The creation cap. The C is the 3rd letter, the U is the 3rd letter, and the E is the 5th letter. 33.5, because it's half. We were split to 33. Command and create. That's half. 66 is the 6 islands and the 6 islands. Oh, now we're in the 6th world. But wait, we haven't left the 10 world yet. Why? Because we are the egg, the addition. We go to the center where the 5 position is. All the odd numbers, I think is it all the odd numbers but the 7th gate, move into the center position. Why? Because you see it on the ace moves into the center. You see on the 9 that there's an ace spot in the center. The first letter and the last letter, which is like alpha omega, A is 1, I is 9, the total is 10. Now you have the J world, the 10 worlds. Now if you look at the pyramid on the $1 US bill, right next to MD, C, CX, MD, CC, LX, XV, 11, there's going to be a J on the side. There's a lot of little things I find. Now, why am I finding this? I was asked before, why am I looking for this? Do I believe anything's going to happen in the future? I say before anything happens in this world, I think we're going to get some sort of little shock wave of some sort, and then we're going to be warned by the higher-ups, and they're going to try to get us a little scared. And will something happen? I think the government has to act before the action actually happens. But we are going to see it as the government acting. So therefore, in matrix thinking, which means they study astronomy, they call it very big in astronomy, they're out with satellites in the skies, somehow they're looking for either information or they're using their satellites to go over to other moons from where they're from. Like I spoke in an earlier video, Jupiter has 63 moons. Saturn has 60 moons. Well, now it's 61. All of a sudden, a new moon. Oh, where did this moon come from? Oh, excuse me, Jupiter once had 63. Now it's got 66. But where are they coming from, these moons? I mean, it just doesn't show up like that. All of a sudden, boom, it's on the computer. So I look on the computer and I find anything. Like the dice cube. It's got 6 sides. The minute it turns to the 7th side to reconnect, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, no other 6, you have to jump on to the next dice. The next dice starts on 1. So that means the next dice would have to start on 2 and go to 6. Does this sound confusing? Because it could be. Because the first dice gets to go from 1 all the way to 6. When you add the 1 to 6, it becomes 7, but there is no 7. So God, or whoever it is, creator, comes out and he brings 2 dice. So we play with 2 dice in this world. But we end up as sick bow. 6 zeros. Why? Because that's the name of the game in China. They call it sick bow. And that's with 3 dice. And now if you go ahead and look at the odds and the payouts for what comes on 6 dice, and then you look at your numbers, if you know your numbers, you're going to see, oh, this came up and it pays 14 to 1. Well, number 14 is very special. Because one of the ways I use 14 is the top side of Rubik's Cube is 9. Then I go down to the center area, because I already counted the top. I'm not going to go around the sides for nothing, because it belongs to the top. I go around the center, and I count 1, 2, 3. From the top, 9 plus 3 is 12. I go into the center, number 13, all alone. What's next? The center of Rubik's Cube, the 14th position that holds 6 hands. The cross is there. It's 6. The 5th position of what it is, and the 1 ace card that moves in, and it's 6 again. What am I getting to? What am I going to get? What am I going to figure out? Somehow, some way, I'm going to figure out more of the system, of whatever the system that there is. There is definitely, for my mind, no one can ever change my mind in a million years that there isn't a system. When you dial a phone number, it goes somewhere. When you type out on the typewriter, somebody sees it on the other side. You are listening to me now. Do you hear me? I'm not looking at you. You can't see the letters come out of my mouth, can you? But yet, your ears, they hear. How is it that your ears hear? And now you don't feel so good. Did it go to your heart? Because your blood pumps everything around. So what is it that told you you didn't feel good? Because the blood had to go towards your brain, did it not? Who's doing the stamping out of the information? I mean, I got a lot of weird things. I think we got some kind of cap on our head. And that kippah that we wear for the Jewish people, I think it's somehow, okay, we'll get the middle of the kippah. Kippah's cut into 4 parts most of the time. It's cut into 4 parts, boom. This world has got us. Or the kippah is supposed to be a leather kippah, okay, because leather against electric, you don't get the electric shock. You put on the leather kippah, or the kippahs like that, and boom, you don't get the outside vibrations. I was talking on Free Talk Radio, and I'm not too happy with, I don't like it, because I knew I couldn't say too much yet. I was always guiding my ways to, whatever I mentioned, it seemed like it was going to go further than it was. So now that I have my first taste and understanding, and let me tell you one thing about these guys. At first, first of all, I want to tell you that I listened to myself for the whole hour so I can see what I didn't like about myself. Because if I get on, if I can't like myself, how can anybody else join in like? I have to think like the outside people think. If anybody wants to come in and join, and not really, you see, it is a learning experience to show you, to explain that this bottle does not exist. It was sand before. But some guy punched and built a machine and punched in the numbers, and all of a sudden the electric went through and made one of these. Love is a connection. Love is a connection. To make love, it's communication. But to want to communicate, you have to love. You have to know that if you don't love, there's going to be a breach in the communication. Now, depending who you're with and where you are in this world, there's no way we can learn in this world. If this world was good and perfect, it's all wrong. Because nothing is good and perfect. Okay, nothing is good, nothing is perfect, nothing is perfectly good. Things are the way they are. We have to learn how to go with it or to avoid it. But after you get into 1 year, 10 years, 500 years, 1,000 years, they sent one guy to jail. With one guy, they've invented 1 million different rules and regulations. Why? Because they can't explain it well enough, so they just threw a new rule out there. They base it on a percentage of some point. So they're giving it a number before anything starts, because that guy is guilty before he came in. You got one judge. You got 2 policemen or 6 policemen standing at the doors. You got lawyers, and then you got all the people who are judging you, and no one knows you, but they only know of a situation.
Everything in life is situational. Things happen in life. People drive too quick. They have accidents. They get killed because they didn't think while they were pressing on the gas pedal. The only way to get to the gas pedal is to have it pass through your mind. If the verb in your mind, the action figure that's taking place, the worm that hangs out by your pineal gland or inside your heart or inside your dick, well, everybody knows this is up and you're thinking, well, when your dick goes up, this goes down, your dick goes up, and all you're telling everybody is, oh, she's so beautiful, oh, she's hot, oh, she's... But the minute you get out of bed, you want to turn around and go to work. That's insanity. You don't have a fight and have sex over it because tomorrow it's just going to come back and worse. Fix it today. Fix it now. Put the spare tire in the back of your car. Buy 3 things of windshield washer fluid. Prepare yourself for today for tomorrow. Today is only a part of yesterday, but the minute it hits midnight, I've been up from yesterday to today to tonight into tomorrow. That's basically tonight, yesterday, today, and tomorrow, making 4 days in one, which is actually 3 days. But because you're connected to, are you following me? You're not following me. I'm saying too much. New cards they came out with. Why only 2? And if you do notice something, 7's in this corner, 7's in this corner. There must be a reason. You don't think it's for the North and the South Pole? Do you notice the way one corner is here, one corner is here, one corner is here, and the other corner is here? They're all offset, because that's the way our world is. It's offset. When I said the world is more like a football, because what happens is you run into this wall. You have to go down, you have to go backwards. You go down, you go backwards. You go down, you go backwards. You go down, you go forward. If you want to do it on Rubik's Cube, or if you want to do it, all it does is by the time you touch the one before to the time you touch the one after for the one you are on, it creates the letter W, the 23rd letter. 23 to a 10-10 world, 2 and 8 is 10. 3 and 7 is 10. You got number 23, which they count as creation. We had number G and H before, which are silent. So it took creation in silence to make the heaven of God, God's creation. Now, 23, 2 by 3 is 6. 2 plus 3 is 5. Totals 11. To a 10-10 world is 9 and 9. And that's the number of Jupiter, 99. Pretty funny, eh? I can create, here's another world I created. When you go around the Monopoly and stay on the top parts of all the islands you go through, meaning that if I draw this on square paper, let me see where I am. You're still there? I'm still here. My videos get into so many different areas. You know, I wrote out about 50, 60, 70 pages to get ready for this interview. I had a funny feeling at the beginning. I said, are they going to laugh at me? Are they making fun? And then I went ahead and I looked at Dr. Jean Ray. And when I looked at Dr. Jean Ray and I says, these guys couldn't have been that serious with him, were they? Because all I saw him do is swear. No nice words for some reason. But you know what? Sometimes in this world we need a guy like that. He wakes up the world by saying all this. Everybody goes completely against it. Then somebody a little bit more sane, like myself, comes in and starts talking about Rubik's Cube. Rubik's Cube, Rubik's Cube, Rubik's Cube. Put 3 of them. You put a point on the top. You put a point on the bottom. You can start turning the earth now. That's what's missing, just the cap. There's a lot of things I didn't talk about. I never mentioned this. This is the cap of a jack. This is the cap of a jack. Anyways, I'm jumping off to a lot of things over here. I don't like it. There's so many things. The eyes on the cards, Jack, Queen, and King. The Jack has 2 cards with 1 eye. The King of Diamonds has 1 eye because his eye, if you look at the diamond cards, they're not like the other cards. When you flip them upside down, you still get to count the center count. I only have half a card. Do you see the center here? Upside down, it's still the center count, so I get to count both. Do you like who's in between? She's watching us. One thing about 666 is that if you're curling up 666, this is an 8. I didn't have one long enough, But when you curl a 6-6, what happens? I'll take this apart. Okay, we have a string over here. To make 6-6, all we got to do is this. We got a bunny rabbit, and we have a ring at the same time. It's 6 on one side, 6 on the other side. What happens in 6-6-6? Okay, because there's 4, 5, and 6 on the phone. But don't forget, when you turn your body around, the 4, 5, 6 becomes 6, 5, and 4. The way 6, 5, and 4 work, okay, the creation is 3. The total is 15 plus the 3 equals 18, the letter R, and again, I'm off into another world. Because I can tell you a whole bunch of things about number 3. The number 3 column says cue ball and a clue to the golden boy. The lore, L-O-R, 12, 15, 18. All in the 3 creation world. 4 by 3, 5 by 3, 6 by 3. L-O-R, the gold. That's us. To make 666 is they have to take us, and here's our golden ears, right? Now they take this one. I'm going to see if I can do this because I wasn't good at this before. They take this one and they curl this way. It's very hard when you can't make it. And they take this one. Wow, I can't even do this. Oh my God. Ugh. Okay, let's leave it at this. Let's leave it at this. This is 4, 5, and 6. We're in the center. The ear is over here, and the ear is over here. They have control of both worlds, the ears from both sides. You're caught in the center. The only thing you can do is get either the information from here that they're sending or from here. Does it make any sense at all? Not looking to make any money. It'd be nice. I mean, I can talk about anything. The Hamantash, you want to talk about. You want to talk about chickens? I was talking before about the 7th day. Well, listen to this. The chickens, the hens, like chicken, Barbie and Ken, the chicken will lay an egg for 6 days. On the 7th day, she doesn't lay an egg. Then she starts laying on the 8th day again. Now, why would that be? If there's a 6-cube dice with 6 sides, where are we getting the 7th day? The way it works, because I don't see it, now I'm going to include Friday and Saturday as one day as 48 hours, starting on Friday, ending on Sunday. One of the reasons for this, there's a possibility that there is no Sunday. And it was added in. We came to the 5th day of the week, and the 6th day of the week belonged to God. But it was 48 hours, so now it becomes the 7th day again. So Friday has to be in reality the true 5th day. Monday has to be the true 1st day. And in God's world, and I say God because I have to talk about something higher than me. What am I supposed to say? I've got 1,000 people who don't like the word God and say, why are you using the word God? And I've got 1,000 people saying yes. I use God because to me, the go of all, which is 7, the 7 ball is G, the O is the 15. They're the 2 balls the furthest away. They total 22, which is the letter V, and in French that means life. And then the D is the angle. 45 degrees, D is 4, and the E is 5, 45, because it's said inside one letter. I still can't explain to you what I'm doing. What I can show you is that in these cards, I don't know if you can see it. Do you see the cut in between the cards? That is not part of the card. That's an element they put in between the cards. Oh, this is basically the way the matrix runs. It's a wireless system, just like everything else is wireless, but it doesn't work without energy. And one of the energies that we don't seem to understand, and still for myself, I can't seem to connect with it, is the energy of the light. It's a light energy. It's what I think Dr. Jean Ray was talking about. Its value is 1/4, and its value is 1/4 because of the diamond. There are 4 points in the diamond. We only get to use 1/4. Although the diamond is whole, it becomes one whole diamond and 1/4 value. The one whole day and 1/4 day after 13 moons and 364 days. And which is funny, that 3 times 64 is 192. And 192 means one birth into two worlds, which is the water. Everything has to do with water. And the French people, they mention it. The minute they say the letter O in French, it's water. The French reflect off the English. I think that the end of times is now, and it was brought into the English world, one of the most popular languages in all. But don't forget, it didn't start here. And it's not my world. It's a world that was brought up over the last, let's go 7,286 years. And I can show you 7,286 number of moons. I can compare it to 1776. I can explain to you why the 76 is there and why it's not 86. Because this is the 10 worlds. Sometimes you have to add 10. Sometimes you have to take away. Sometimes you have to add 7 or 3. It's hard to explain. You're on different levels of the Rubik's Cube. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And what's funny is that 1 and 3, when they meet each other, they rainbow to join. 1 does not go to 2. 1 and 3, when you bring those two letters together, they make the letter B. And here's another thing I get to. When I take a letter and design it, I got to see how many squares I get to use and how much it takes me to do it. For instance, the letter B, I usually like to do it the old Roman or Greek way. So I'm going to show you the letter B in the smallest form. I went online. When you use an angle on a square, you stay on line. When I have to go up an angle and use all straight letters, I end up between the squares. Therefore, I'm obligated to make it larger. Because either you're online or you're offline. And there's a reason for everything. When you create your two lines that are online, let's call that the pipe. Whatever goes through the pipe is offline because it's inline. It's now inline instead of online. So it's passing through the pipes because it's offline. Do you follow? Do you understand? It's in between the lines. So on the left would be a wall. Let's call that 1 because it's straight. On the right would be a wall. Let's call that straight. And something will come straight through. Let's call that straight. It would be 1, 1, 1. I'm jumping all over the place. There's so many. Oh, here's one of the things. In the Hebrew alphabet, it finishes with tav, tav. And when I do tav, tav back together, it looks like we got earphones around our head. And tav to me means like tough luck. You know what I'm saying? He brew. Well, what did he brew? Hey, what did he brew? He brewed a wish. And in French, it's croix. And croix means to believe, and croix means a cross at the same time. Jewish, J-E says I, and it also says game, je. It means to play a game with sound. Don't always use the letters, because if you use the letters, you're only going to follow into the dictionary and back into the world of Rubik's Cube. We need to get outside Rubik's Cube by building outside of it and enlarging it. What was that question? Do I smoke a lot of weed? No. Hey, let's jump onto this. Number 1, in 36 numbers, put inside the tic-tac-toe board, the total of 36 numbers inside 1 will say 58. And 1 and 2 are the same. So 1 and 2, the word 2, T-W-O, equals 58. You total them together, you have 116. One world of 1 and 6. One spirit of 6. Now, why in Rubik's Cube? I'm jumping all over the place again. But in Rubik's Cube, what you have to understand is there's one center. How can I say this? Well, it's not a shopping center. Well, you can go to the center. I mean, we're always hanging around on the cross. Rubik's Cube is on our back. It's the cross of the numbers that we relate to. These are the bodies we have for this world, and that's what relates to this world. If you go into outer space and you don't have a uniform on, hey, maybe you're going to dissolve or get crushed. So what has to happen? Here's number 6. See, we have 3 on this side and 3 on this side, and 1 in the center would make number 7. Make number 7. Now everybody says, well, how do we get this to work together? And I just go, like that. It's an N. It's an I. It's an H. It's a Z. This is the way we're going. Something like this. They can go all the way up to here, but once they get to here, they got to all the way down to the bottom, and they got to go all the way over here. What is number 6 again? Where am I with number 6? What am I doing with number 6? 1 day, 2 days, 3 days? 1 day, 2 days, 3 days? 4 days? 5 days? 6 days? 7 days? This joins this part. If you take a look, it's a number 1. And this mark is a number 1. Now my video disappeared. It's a number 1. So here we have the date in between. 313. But that's confusing. That's 7 days. Why did we have to go all the way down here to reach a new day to go back up here? Because if we went straight across, the distance from here to here and here to here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now look at all the distance we have to go to 7. It doesn't work. It has to go like this, in between. Now look, 6, 1, 3. 613 laws of Moses. 6 days, 1 day, and 3 days equals 240 hours. 6 by 40. This number 6, just trying to figure out where I'm going with this, to a 10-10 world is number 4. Number 4 is before the train tracks in Monopoly, and number 6 is after, when you're starting from go, but it's the 7th position, 76. The brain is picked up on number 4, and number 6 you get the body, and then you get the birth. Oh, well, how do you get the body before? Well, you're still inside your mother's stomach. That's what keeps telling me down in New Zealand, underneath the ground, there's something there. Some kind of big kind of pod site of some sort that, you know, and I'm getting too much into it, just like in the Matrix, what you saw in the Matrix, those pods, those babies, they're zapping them. They have their number of light. They have our number of light. I was talking about the diamonds. I went on to the 6 card. What was I coming out? What was I thinking of when I was coming out on the 6 card? Well, let me show you one thing that's easy. 1, 3 is 4. This equals 4. This equals 6. 4 and 4 is 8. 6 is 14. This one over here equals the number 1 and 3. Total is 18. 3 by 6, 18, 6, 6, 6. 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. 613, if you use the 6 and the 3 9 days, you end up with 216 hours. Now, I'm all over the place, and I know that, and I know most people don't get past 5 minutes, but just in case you do, if anybody has any questions, you don't see this card anywhere. It doesn't show up, this card, anywhere, unless it's the 2 card. That means it's got to be somewhere else doing something else. The 2 God, where is he? He's down below and he's at the top. He could be. I'm trying to see what I had on the last page. Don't forget, I was talking before, I feel that we're under a 3-star system. The 7-point star, which has an absolute point that can have 2 legs stuck at the bottom and 1 point at this top, that will create the 5-point star, the Pontiac star, and the 7-point star. That's what creates it. The octagon is also a star. It creates an 8-point star, and the mug and dovet is the 6-point star. Now, if you really want to look at these things, the 6-point star, the 7-point star, and the 8-point star, the jack has 6 eyes, the king has 7 eyes, and the queen has 8 eyes. Doesn't mean anything to anybody. Just like I said, I need to create. You see, this internet is my star. I got a star in the sky. And so does everybody else that's watching this. Everybody's got a star in the sky. It's how you use that star. I got a stick, I plug it in the computer, I get it done online, I put it here. Now everybody can say, well, why are you putting everything online, and sometimes you don't make any sense, and you're all over the place? I can't do all the jobs. Whoever's going to look, whoever's going to find, whoever asks me the question, that's what the star is all about. It's for you to use and come back and say, hey man, you're an idiot. Hey man, I understand you, but can you make it go a little bit further? By extending with other people, I'll be able to have a different vision. What good is my own vision? I'll be walking down the road and making all my own choices. I do that in my personal life. I took this one out on the road. Why? Ian asked me a question, and I keep forgetting certain things. Because I was writing something, and I didn't know what I was writing. So I thought I'd write a book. And then the trees started to expand. And there was no way I was going to get this all into a book. So I figured I'm just going to do diary online. The mouth of a diary. Is that what my mouth is? Diary? I don't like that word. Dairy. The cow jumped over the moon. The mouse ran up the clock. Wow, the spider went up the spout. The water came out, and so did the spider. The water and the spider. We got to get that spider out, right? Or get it off the top of our head. I will connect to anything you want. And the reason I could, and I believe in myself in this, is because I make it simple. If you just show me the letter C, I'll show you everything I can do with a C. Well, hold on, I have something to look at. That must be something I have to see. Or in the letter E, there's 2 spaces for it. So you can make a wraparound and a C. Well, where does the V and the U come together? Why is it double U and double V in French? Because at the top of a seed, there's a point. And at the other end, there's usually a round. But it's not like the lemon and the lime. It's a little bit different than the lemon and the lime. The lemon and the lime represent basically our world. One has 10, and one has 11 fruits on it. Plus the center core that relates to the 2 ends, the upper and lower cores, and the 2 points. So that 10-seeded fruit now becomes 13. Now if you turn it on an angle, that's the one thing. Somebody says, well, one of the reasons, this is going to be the end of it, one of the reasons they start here, and they go up to the top. You see, it's not the same angle anymore. It's not like this and go up, hey! No, it's like this. We think we're all going straight. We are going straight, but it's hard to explain. You understand, when you go up a card like this, it's not the same when you go up like this. Because, anyways, drop that. The next thing I wanted to say is I was looking at the globe, and I noticed that between here and here on the globe, between 40 and 60, we were living between 20 degrees around the entire world. Between France and China and Canada, we were basically most of everything, like 90% of everything is between here and here, 40 and 60 degrees. And it's funny because that's so perfect for the moon to turn around and show up at the same spot every month. It just so happens the moon seems to show up on the same day for everybody all the time. And I think the moon is on some sort of railroad track of some sort. Now the reason I say that is because of Monopoly. Don't forget, I try to add in every single game that I can. This is one of the ways of the crisscross of the matrix. Now you can create within there. You can create a lot of things. You can't don't take more than 9 squares. That creates faces, that creates letters. I can show you. You want to create everything in the alphabet? This creates every letter in the alphabet. Here's the A around, A. Then there's the B. Then there's the C, if you want it this way. Or the C is on the outside if you want. Then there's the E on the outside. But the short arm of the E is because of this. It passes right through the center, but it's got to stop. It can't go through the center, so you have a short arm of E. Then you have the T, or E, F. Then, well, the F is the same thing. Why? Because when it's on its angle, okay, the line at the bottom disappears. And then it keeps disappearing, the lines in the bottom. How can I explain that? I'm all over the place. I don't like that. Wow, how can I explain to you the line? We're standing on the floor. The floor is an invisible line. But if you're on ground, when you're looking down on this level, okay, you're not looking at the floor, you can see your level, what you're standing on, the center of everything, and the upper level. Those are the 3 levels. It's very simple. Oh, am I all over the place? Of course. You can do anything. Because there's so many things. The dice do more than, I mean, the placements of the numbers of the dice, 1 dice, 2 dice, what you can do, what you can't do. When you take out one dice and you throw it, right, it's A and E, and it stops. There is nothing more than 5, because man doesn't exist. So then we have the 5-point star. But if you flip that 5-point star, you get a 10-point star. Man is not single, man is double. He's part of some other element. Here, look. What does this look like to you? Besides the letter S. It's 2 parts of a heart, flipped upside down on the other side, ending up to me, looking like, to me it's the sperm. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else talked about worms and fish, and, well, you talk about a worm or fish, well, to me it's the same thing. Jack of all trades, Jack-o'-lantern, Halloween Jack, everything's about Jack. Jack in the word count is 25. It's 25 of 100. X and O. X is the 10th letter in Roman numerals. O is the water, value it at 15 because it's in the simple 15 position. That also equals 25. Now, what is the true value of the center? There's more than one center. It's like a game of darts. In the center of the game of darts, is it not 50 for the red? Well, that's perfect. 5, and in the 10 world, multiply it by 10, you got 50. But what is 50? It's half and half of a field. Wait a second, there's something wrong. You cannot split 50 2 ways. In order to split 50 2 ways, you have to go 49 and 49 and give 2 yards for the referees to bring the ball on in. And you got to stay back there. They'll move up to the ball, but you're going to move back. Or they're going to move back and you're going to stay right on the line. The 6-1-3 again is a football score. 6 points, 1 point, and 3 points. Well, how the hell do we get the 2 points? Well, when you stay on the ground and you go in for another touchdown from the 5-yard line, from the 5, the 5th position is 10% of the brain. You're working with the soul. The soul is worth 2. So what's the spirit worth? I'm not sure. It could be worth 5. That makes a total of 7. But you're getting 2 after 6 because the position of 5 inside the center plus the ace hole, this is the 5 position, plus the ace that's there, totals your 6 points. 2, 4, 6. You went right up the field, right in for an end zone. You want to talk about the chicken's pregnancy? You want to talk about how many eggs are in an egg tray? You want to know how that relates to anything? You want to know the birth cycle of dogs and cats? You want to know the birth cycle of horses and how it relates? Everything relates. The thing is, it's a slow go. You're a turtle, man. We are slow. Matrix number is 85. The silver water is also considered number 85. All I know then is for numerological numbers. I do know if I reverse it, it becomes 58, and that represents 1 and 2. 1 inside creation, and 2 as being 2 parts of. Why? Because on every opposite corner, there's another one that's alike. On every opposition of the train tracks, there's another one that's alike. So we got 4 positions of train tracks and 4 positions of corners. We have 8. 8 by the 45 that everything is made by is 360 degrees. Oh, right. Plus number 5 in the center and the quarter of the mind that does all the thinking. That's why we have the 5.2 part days. The added time is when they add in the extra strands from the North Pole, or however the chakra of Earth works. That extra stuff is shoved into the center as an energy, and they have to make everything bigger. Somehow, somewhere, there's an empty space somewhere. Nothing exists unless there's a bubble. Doesn't matter how big the bubble is, but the bubble is the ingredient for life. Raphael, 7286 on the constellation of Pegasus, 72 into the 10 world is 38. W-O, the first part of woman. 86 equals to 24, the 24 hours of the day. 38 and 24 equals to the 72 of 7286. 38, 24, 38, 48, 58. Ooh, 38, 48, 58, 62. Wow, how did I make that mistake? Oh, because I added on without mentioning that we're in the 10 world, making it 72. You have to go to the top. I believe 7286 is one of the first years inside part of some kind of creation. I can fit that number in a lot of spots. But if you're not searching, and I'm searching something out and I'm going to explain it to you, I can't do that. I need your mind to ask me. So I'll know where your mind is, so I can come up with that answer so your mind would understand it. Then you'll say, oh, I understand this. Then we can take it another step further. This is like one-on-one all the time. And if you want to know how much there is to do, put it this way. If it's a dictionary, we have to do every word and every meaning. If it's a thesaurus, we have to do every word and every meaning. It doesn't matter what it is, but the biggest thing of all, okay, I'm going to end it right here, is that if we don't learn how to become one as we are ourselves and alone, when we can't learn to sit and meditate alone, then we can never learn to appreciate being with others and learning the part that is the most important in this entire life. Because don't forget, if nobody loved, nobody makes babies. If you do not make any babies in 100 years, there is no one on this planet except for the reptilians, if they exist. I believe we're two spheres inside each other, that one of them, okay, the spheres, is that they're all plugged separately. They all like Legos. They bend and unfold and move, and it's all like a swift motion of some sort. I can tell you 1,000 things. I can go on here forever. There's a bunch of new cards I bought. I just bought the Barrel of Monkeys. Now I'm trying to think. Barrel, Monkeys, Niagara Falls, Nigeria, and I just start to think all over the world. Oh, what do I think about Moses? I think the African king came at the Pharaoh and offered him all this stuff so he can let his people go. We came from the jungle somehow, some of us. Where did we all come from? I'm not sure. I was always hoping that we can have one God, but I'm quite sure if there are more gods, there's another world we can all live together in peace and harmony with the understanding of love. But yet we're always going to get frustrated because Rubik's Cube is missing. The only one piece missing in Rubik's Cube that nobody sees is the expansion that it can take. And that expansion can only happen in one place, and that's in between all the blocks. Right next to the cross that moves the entire Rubik's Cube is a space. And it's the space that gives the freedom to all. The freedom to turn around. If everything was on top of each other, we wouldn't be able to move. So it's the space, the void, where nothing is, that exists and is more important than anything else. Because without space, there is nothing. And number 48 is the expression of space. I didn't finish off. Anyways, why? Because 2 dice is 12, and 4 by 8 is 32, which is half of your space in chess, an 8 by 8 board. And 12 are the 2 dice, in which what you get is the 20 world, plus the 2 dice is 12, makes 2012, and that's the game of chess. Is there a chess game going on in the world right now? Because definitely they're playing chess. If you think Krista Berg's song was not real, somehow, some way, there is a reality for me in everything. Why? Because I can't knock anything out until I've done the numbers. Why throw something out? Just put it on the side, and if I remember one day, then I guess it'll be good enough for me. And if I don't remember, well, I'll be doing something else, and that's good enough for me, because all I want is peace. All I want to be able to do is go out on the street and no one's looking at me any different. I don't want to be seen any different than anybody else. And it's not that I don't want to see different. I feel the pressures on the outside, and I'm not even thinking that it's me. I see it with other people also. More people that are in tune to this world, and it's not only me either. The people who are looking at the governments now, it's the same thing for them. They don't feel inside their spot. Have you ever looked at Article 14, there was that article. You have to read that article, Article 14, Article 8, and Article 4. I can't remember what they all were, but they were very important. And 14 is the cross of Rubik's Cube inside a Rubik's Cube. And what they talked about in Article 14, was it 14 or 8, in which they brought upon somebody who was really evil, and all they did was torture him. and torture him just to show everybody else it's not going to be that easy and you're just going to go to jail. So they tortured him. What do I believe in torture? I don't believe in it. I believe that half these people steal, okay, and half the people that are in prison is because what was created within the core, if you understand what I mean. When you stop someone from smoking a marijuana joint, and he goes and gets it, and then you bring him to jail. For what? For a lousy fucking marijuana joint that it's bothering no one? Teach people how to smoke cigarettes. Teach people how to drink. Teach people how to smoke marijuana properly and explain to them what it does in your head, what it should do, what it shouldn't do, what you think when you do it. You can't just stop everybody all the time because it serves a purpose for business. You go to court and you got 10 guys in front of you before you even get up, and then they want you to come. Do you swear to tell the truth? Well, holy shit, I ain't swearing. You don't believe I'm telling you, I'm telling the truth. Put your left hand in the air. Oh, that's the wrong hand. That's gauche. In French, they say it ain't no good. I want to put my right hand in the air. Is it my right hand? But then again, you know what? My right hand seems like it knows it all. So I'll put my left hand in the air. But my left hand doesn't have good feelings because I don't feel things really well. It's almost like I have to direct, you're going to help my right hand, eh? I mean, that's all my left hand can do is you're going to help my right hand? I guess he has no choice, eh? Go down. There you go. Good boy. Good boy. Any of you? Go down. Oh, come on. You have a pen in your hand. What, do you want to show everybody your finger? Hey, look at that. Point straight. Not nice to point the finger at anybody. So I was at 58 before. 5 by 8 is 40, makes the game a Monopoly. 5 plus 8 is 13. 13 is the spirit of 76. What happens to the spirit of 76? On Rubik's Cube or on the face of your phone, 7 connects to 6, as 6 connects to 1, as 1 connects to 9. And that's how it works. The 1 and the 9 is your spirit. 91 are the 91 cards. Point cards, ace to king in one suit, 7 by 13 weeks is the same thing. 13, 3 and 1 is 4. What was the other number? 4, oh yeah. 8 by 5 is 40, 4 and 0 is 4. 7 plus 6 is 13. Or what was it again? Was it 7 and 6? 8 and 5. 8 and 5 is 13. Same 13, right? Not really. 8 and 5 is dead center of your phone. 7 and 6 crosses over through 8 to reach each other. 7 and 6 is 13. Well, what the hell is 13? Well, 7 innings and 6 innings. You're in the 7th inning stretch. 39 outs. Let's get ready to go. The letters for 39 outs are R, U, and E because they got the scorecard, which now you call the E card, so it says the street. We've got 2 teams, so we've got 2 streets. Deuxième rue. 2 streets. 13. What else do we know about 13? 13 is the first number on the next dice. 13 is the adage from 1 to 12 when you begin. You end back in January, the 13th month. Why do we have to mention it? Because 12 connects us to the next one, which is the first month, makes 13. So you go 12 and 13 is 25, and that's 1/4 of everything. Or is it the 1/4 we have lost, or should we be jumping over to the month of May? Because like I said before, metric time, there's 90 seconds inside a minute. Metric time, I'm still working on between 60 and 64 minutes to an hour. The dice cube added 1 to 6 equals 21, but the added 7 that they add is 28, and that's the number of the moon. 7 days a week adds up to 28. Boom, number of the moon. I guess it's a coincidence. There's a moon flying out there. It's perfect, but they can't predict the temperature because they don't want to predict it properly. They want to be about, because if they were right on, then someone's going to figure out how Rubik's Cube actually gets involved in this. You see, there would be one Rubik's Cube here, and there'd be another one here. Everything is moving on the floor. Do we have another pack of cigarettes? Now let's say there'd be another Rubik's Cube here. So here's one part of Rubik's Cube, here's another part, and here's a third part. Now how does this work? let me get a card out that has some numbers on it. See this card? See this? This is the angle. This one is the 1, this is the 5, this is the 9. The other way, it's the same thing. 3, 5, and 7. They total 30. I use this twice, so the actual count would be 25. 30 is creation. 25 means Jack. When I flip over the card, this counts for nothing. This, you can count these as the oppositions because they're upside down. When they're upside down, we count them as 9s. See the right side up? They're in the center. I'm not supposed to count them as 9s, but I do anyways because this is the first world. You see, it gets confusing. This is the first world. We jump to here, we go to the second world. We jump to here, we have the center worlds. We jump to here, we have to go upside down. So I had 30 over here, plus 1, plus 3. The total is 34. Did you understand what it was? 1, 3, 5. 1, 3, 5. 135 degrees times 2 is 270, plus 3 creation is 273. 39 weeks and 7 days, and you have a baby. I'm at 56 minutes. I'm trying to put so much into one video. I said I was going to come on here and make a 2-minute video and show one thing. If anybody made it this far, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm planning and hoping someone out there is going to say to me, hey, show me this. And I'm going to do the whole thing about that one thing. The one part that's going to be missing is the end result, because it doesn't end. So we're going to go again. 1 plus 3 is 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 13, 20, 29. 1 and 3 is 4. 4 and 5, 9. Plus 7 is 16. Plus 9 is 25. Plus 1 plus 3 is 4. The total is 29. All right, before I had 5 more because, so 29 is 27. Here's the 2 of the 7 card. Number 27, the number that the actresses die at because they never get to see the second moon. We get something else inside of us through the 7th gate, G and H heaven. There's G and H. There's 2 here. There's another one here in the 8th. There's only one over here. Anyways, we had number 29. 29 reversed, 92. 29 is 121, which equals 11 times 11. 121, or the 1st of May, or April 30th, once every 4 years, in which the 1st of April, which is usually la journée de poisson, which is that funny day, April Fool's Day. In French, they call it the day of the fish. Pretty funny, eh? But fish in French also means fichier, which means the your documents. So this is 29. The 29th day that we get in February. At the same time, we add the 5 because we used it twice, and it becomes 34. 3 plus 4 is 7. Things will always come around in a circle. It's a circle of love. It's a circle of life. Oh, there's so much more. This happens to be about the B. The 2 ends of the B. The 2 ends of the B. 2 ends of the B. One is in your head and one is in your pants. You flip yourself upside down, you got your head up, and you got one head down. Watch out you don't fall. Anyways, what else can I talk about? Look, Jack's only got one eye. You see what he's holding over here? It's not like the other ones. They've switched it. But you see where 666 goes? 1 egg, 2 eggs, and we're trapped in the center. Look the way they changed it. See the way I have the blue dot in the center over here? We're living right there. When you put 2 of these together, it makes the 4-leaf clover. Anyways, I'm all over the place. Let's see what we can do good here. Just one. Oh, my book almost fell. Let's just do... Everybody see the heart? Now all I'm going to do is draw another. All I did was draw one heart on top of the other heart. Now if you want to see how it ends, okay, So we're going to do this, do this. See, I put a tail on each one, put an eye on each one. They're looking at each other, and there's a heart. They are two, but they are one. Down here, what I did is I did an apple just for the hell of it. Here's the outside strings of the apple. All it is two G's. 1 G and 2 G's. Probably be part of your heart. Medical questions. I've gone through some of them. Once I have all the numbers of everything, things will even come together in the medical field. How do you think to give names to things? By what they interact with while it's coming about. The last thing I'm going to say, M, everybody, means love, but Jack no one. M, everybody, and Jack no one. 11 and 13. K and M. MK kosher. Jack card and the M card. The M is the 13th letter, and the 13th card is the king. It's an even number. 1 and 3 is 4. Anyways, we got to go back to 85. Well, we have to finish it this way. We had 8 by 5 is 40. 4 plus 0 is 0. Or 4 times 0 equals 60. Because the 0 equals 15. Now, if we write out the word for, F-O-U-R, it equals 60. Plus the 4, it equals 64. 4 by the 6 equals to the 24-hour day. 4 and 6 equals to the 10 God. Why? Because 6 and 4 have 1 in between. There's no other like it. It's just as though you can say, well, what about 1 and 3? But that's not at the heart. This is at the heart. What else is there? The reason why they don't have 45, 45 in tennis is because it's occupied somewhere else. They can't let us know. It's a very big secret, that 45. Anyways, back to 85. 8 and 5 is 13. 1 and 3 is 4. 4 plus 0 is 0. We have 44. 44 equals to 48, which is the outside of all the blocks that create monopoly. 8 by 4 is 32. 4 and 8 is 12. 12 and 32 is 44. Everything will come to creation and say, oh, fuck, 32. Chess. 48. The outside of a monopoly board. Wait a second. Do you want to hear something funny? The inside of the monopoly board, what I mean is if you make everything in small squares right off of this paper. Hold on a second. Here's one of the pictures the way I think Earth is. Here's your equator going this way. But look at the difference. Look where you are on the Earth. It's insanity. There is nothing. There can't be anything really over here. Or maybe we put it like this. Here's 3 Rubik's Cubes that make the Earth. Here's your point at this end. Here's your point at that end. 10, 10, the 2 X's. X, O, X. X, O, X. Isn't that love? X, 10, O, 15, 25, and 35. Creates this egg. 3 by 5 and 3 plus 5 equals 23. Beta creation. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 plus 5 is 8, number 23. Okay, so let me go through that last piece. So here's, I wrote out a little page of certain things I wanted to do. No, I'm going to do this in another video. So let me show you this last piece, if I can show you this. Here's the 5-point Indian star. Okay, now I made 2 stars in one. I put the Pontiac image of the Indians here, and at the same time the 5-point star. It fits in on this angle. We're only living here. We're not living all of this. We're inside this star. Here's the 4 corners. Okay, here's another 4 corners, but these ones are all chopped because they've been moved into here. They rounded out our world. But it goes this way, and our world goes all the way up to here. But they squared it off for us right here. This is only the heart of how it is. Now it's got to be extended 1, 2, 3. I just made 1 to show you one central image. And this one is it. But where is, oh, how are we sitting? Hey, look, holding up the books, holding up the egg, while the cement truck turns and plucks out all the chickens that come out of the earth. Did anybody know that the word sun, S-U-N, is a total count of 54? 9 times 6 sides of Rubik's Cube, 54. There is one picture I wanted to show you. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, here's another. Nah, I can't show you that. Here, I will show you this picture. See the man, he's walking away? He's connected to a bird that's connected to his body. I just do anything. I draw anything. You know why? Because I don't know how. So I'm trying to teach myself. Another way of looking at, here's all your stairways. Now, how many stairways should I have? I shouldn't have any more stairways than I do planets. And how many stairs is a planet? Well, there's the in-between space to every single planet. If you go in between space to every single planet of 9 planets, to the sun and to the other side of the sun, you have 21. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 added together is 21. So just these coincidences. I had to have this one. You want to know to go around the clock? 12, 6. If you had to put a star here, this is where I would put the 7-point star. I put it over here between the 7 and the 8, and I put it over here between the 4 and the 5. And then I drag it all the way up to here. We have 1, 2, 3. Now they're offsetting. I get 2 more on this side, 5, 2 more on this side, 7, and you end up with your 7-point star. But at the same time, if you really take up, if I made this smaller, take a look. 3, 3, and 3. How come? 9, 9, and 9. How come? Because we're making the corners. 3 went on the top, 3 is in the center, 3 is in the bottom. 33. 9 and 9. 9, 8, 7, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. 9, 10, 11, 12. 12, 1, 2, 3. But in this case, I go 11, 1. 1, 1, 1. Ends up on this side. Now this is crazy. Wow. What am I looking to do? I always put education because that's what it is. It's a breakdown of trying to understand within. This can be done. This will be done. I have already went back to not only understanding the numbers, but when you tell me 235, I'm just going to say 2 times 35. Inside the 2 world is 35 twice. If you say 875, I'm going to multiply that by something. Because when you come to 7, 8, 9, the only thing you can do is bring it to the 10 world. 7 is 3, 8 is 2, 9 is 1. And now you can bring it to the 7 world. 3 would be 4, 2 would be 5, and 6 would be 1. And 1 would be 6. 7, 7, 7. Just, you can't, like when you're making bets in roulette, when you put a chip down, you're going to get for whatever you put. If you put it between 4 numbers, you're going to get a certain amount. What is the payoff for 4 corners? It's 8 to 1. What are we working on? 8 by 45-degree angles equaling to 360 degrees. A year cannot be 365 degrees unless they calculate our mind in it. Why do they need to calculate our mind in it to increase the number of days we have on Earth? Which tells me again, numbers are connected to create this whole thing to work. We're just not alive just like that. If you ever look at your lungs, okay, and look at them carefully, it's the roots of a tree. It's almost like the tree is here, and we're sucking it in down to our roots. Now we're going to leave it be. Raphael 7286. Thank you very much. The constellation of Pegasus, and I do mean the constellation of Pegasus, and I have seen stuff there. I've seen bees and beehives. Very, very funny. Very, very funny. What's true, what's not true? What will be true? What can I do? How can I put this together so that those who want to understand can understand easier? I therefore come up with an answer right away saying take out one thing, work on it 5 minutes, don't go on my hiatus, stay down below because, hey man, I'm just like you, but I'm just intense into something that I really love. Never found anything that I really loved in my whole entire life that I can really give my love to. You know, when you really want to give so much love to somebody, well, they push you away. But this doesn't push me away. I have to push my way. I have to push myself away because I'm here an hour and 10 minutes. And I don't know if anybody really understood anything. I think I'm just going to turn on Bugs Bunny or something and watch one of his things. Maybe I can make a cartoon that'll come into, I put down one word and everybody will go, wow. Hey, did you know that if you mark 4444 around each other, it turns into the swastika? Didn't know that. Did you know the fourth letter was D? But the fourth letter on the second level is M, MD, medical doctor. And then the third level, it's V. V is the 22nd letter, 2 and 2 is 4. M is the 13th letter, 1 and 3 is 4. D is the 4th letter. You have MDV. I don't know, it could be for motor vehicles, I guess. But MD is to love, the angel, and the V in French means life. The angle, the V, that we come in to meet. The two sides of the mind from the creation and from the spirit come in and make it to be one. What's happening in this world? Well, somehow they're pushing in what seems like, according to the chakras and other things that I've looked at, it seems like an extra energy is diverting the original energy that we came upon this earth to live in which they had 2,000 years ago. My question still comes like this is, I believe the computers have been around for over 100 years. In fact, I think the computers have been here for thousands of years. In fact, even if the computers haven't been here for that long and they've only been here 100 years, I think that definitely the creator of this world made the matrix to be around because Einstein is part of the matrix numbers. So is Abraham Lincoln, so is George Washington, so is the Queen Mary. The Queen Mary is 62 for Queen, which is 622.6, which is a universal number that everybody's confused about, which can mean a whole load of things, meaning from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., but 10 p.m. is 2,200 hours. 22 means life. 6 life of 6. 6 of 6 life. L'chaim. 12. Well, on and on and on and on. Like I told the gentleman, I don't cook hardly any of my food. I rarely eat any meat, and if I do, I'll try to buy filet mignon and eat it raw with the blood in it. What do I think about raw animals and blood? Well, I have a funny feeling because the animals are captured and they have nothing more to do because they're held up in that barnyard for 3 months or 2 months till they finalize their meat count with all their nutritions to cut down the fat, and I don't see any less fat in the cows. But I believe if we eat the cows, we're going to think like the cows. They're trapped, so you're going to feel trapped. Or if they feel trapped, they're going to say, hey, I'm feeling what the cow feels. How can I untrap myself? How can I show other people how I untrap myself? So maybe if they feel trapped, maybe they can untrap themselves. One thing is you have to have a great belief of one thing. Slow. You have to learn that slow is the only way. That's why I don't have more than 5 or 6 hits on any of my videos. They're too long and too fast. Besides numbers being confusing. What I should do is go to the element board and show you how the element board, and maybe I'll put gematria onto this. And if I can mix the two gematria and the element board and show you that those numbers actually connect. That numbers do connect. So big deal, someone is going to say. So 2 people will say big deal. You know what? It's not. For me, it's a big deal because eventually I'm going to catch on to something like the Twin Towers. The center of roulette, 16, over to 21 adds up to 111. That's the root of the Twin Towers. If you count it the other way, it also adds up to 111. That's the second Twin Tower. And you know what's funny about the whole thing with the Twin Towers? If I got my numbers right, It's on the 254th day. 2 times 54, 108. Plus the creation is 3. Add 3. Always. There's always a number to add or minus. Usually it doesn't come out right. But, oh wait, 100% it will always fall on the right number. But it's not always the right number for certain reasons that inside an explanation there's more than one explanation, and the creation is the explosion. 3 of 3 is 9, and goodbye 9, goodbye 11. 2, 5, and 9 equals to 11. 2 plus 5 equals 7. 5 and 4 equal 9. You have the building number 7 of 9/11 right inside the day it happened. That's pretty weird. Too many weird things happen. That's why I'm on this. You know what? Thanks to Free Talk Radio, thanks to Lands, or was it Lands from Waterfront, they're building my confidence that I'm able to relax a little bit more, and maybe I can go a little bit further into a world where I don't think I've went all the way yet. But first, before I go further and learn too much, or should I learn more? And then by learning more, I can throw everything together and know a little bit more, so I'll be able to explain it to everybody. I guess. I think so. Maybe. Perhaps. As long as I don't... Can I say that? I don't like that word. All I know is... All I want to know is I just want to be good. I just want to make sure I state to be a good person. Somebody wants to come in, I'll open the door. Somebody needs a cigarette, I'll give them a cigarette. But wait a second. That's your 3rd cigarette you've been asking for. I only have 2 left. That's what will start to happen. Instead of being straightforward, I can't give you a cigarette. I only got 3 left. I got a whole pack. But since the guy came for 5 cigarettes, I have to tell him that way. But then, eventually, wouldn't it be better saying, hey man, I have you 3 cigarettes. This is being honest now. I have you 3 cigarettes. I can't give you any cigarettes. I need the cigarettes for myself. Wouldn't that be something more honest to say? So the next time he comes in, he's aware not to ask for cigarettes. Because if I tell him I only have 2 left, next time he's going to come in, he says, you still have 2 left? So you got to be more up in front and get the shit out of the way. Okay? And I know there's a lot of situations you can't. And I'm in a situation with a friend of mine in what, no matter how much we want to go out and do things together, my mustache is, this is a female that I'm talking about, my mustache is too long. She doesn't like the shoes I'm wearing. So I say, hey man, no problem. Get out of your car. Let's go into my house. Choose me a pair of pants. Choose me a pair of shoes, because I don't care. You want me to look better? If you think I look better, well, better for me and better for you, better for us. So that's what I'll do. Get out of the car, let's go. Raphael 7286. Oh my God, this is insanity. I only have 1 yellow light in my house. And guess what? I think we're going to have to turn out the lights. Wow, you see my glasses? Where is that? Is that my camera? That's weird. How does my glasses end up in my camera? Right in my eyes. It almost looks like it's there, right? My camera's pointing at me and I'm looking at it. Oh, another thing about Rubik's Cube, if you want to know, is the word it. Because that's part of what the name of Rubik's Cube is. Thank you. Raphael 7286 on the constellation of Pegasus, for whoever and however or whatever has given me this opportunity to be able to learn. Thank you. Have a nice night.